So where we are in the last class, I think we have discussed the jump analysis in rectangular channel. This part is done. I think we have already discussed this topic, so we move on to the next. Next is loss of energy in jump. This part we have discussed. Loss of energy in jump. So this is the next topic we are going to discuss today is your loss of energy in jump. So during hydraulic jump, what is the loss of specific energy? Okay, so this is nothing but your E1 minus E2. Okay, your del E is nothing but loss of energy during hydraulic jump and is equal to E1 minus E2. Okay, E1 minus E2. So E1 is nothing but specific energy before the jump minus specific energy after the jump. Okay, if you subtract, you will get the loss of energy. Okay, so now we are going to derive an expression for loss of energy for rectangular channel. Okay, so definitely E1 minus E2. So we are going to write a specific energy equation. Okay, minus specific energy equation after the jump. Okay, that is why here y2 plus v2 square by twice g, and here y1 plus v1 square by twice g. Okay, I think these terms are very familiar to you now. Okay, this is nothing but a specific energy. So in specific energy, we'll be having only two components. One is your pressure head, one is your kinetic head. Okay, then we are going to, in terms of in place of velocity, we write distance by area. Okay, and in place of area, if we consider is a rectangular channel, it will be b multiplied by y without the channel multiplied by depth of flow. Okay, so that is why in place of v we have written q by a, and in place of a we have directly written b into y, as this is for before the jump. So that is why here in place of y we have written y1. Okay, similarly here also you have to replace that velocity by q by a, and then again you have to replace the area. As we are considering as a rectangular channel, so area will be b into y, that is width of the channel multiplied by depth of the flow. Okay, so again we know that small q is nothing but your discharge per unit width of the channel. Okay, so here also you have q square by b square, so you can write small q square here. Okay, so this is y1, y1 is there, this is in negative, so here minus y2, here minus y2 plus q square by b square, so it will be small q square. Twice g is common to both the term. If you see this term and this term here, our twice g, 1 by twice g is common. Okay, what will be left out is 1 by y1 square minus, here minus is there, so it is minus 1 by y2 square. Very simple. Then we separated. We have taken this LCM, that y1 square y2 square, so it will be y2 square minus y1 square. A simple mathematics, okay? So again, we have discussed many times, if you have a square minus b square, in place of it you can write a plus b, a minus b, okay? So here also doing the same thing, okay? Here also doing the same thing, a plus b, a minus b. So first you write down till here. Okay. After this, no, after that equation 7.8, we have to go back previous one, okay? Here, during this derivation, we have derived this expression, okay? Or you can consider this. We can consider this here, y1, y2 plus y1 is equal to twice q square by g. We are going to substitute this expression in 7.8, okay? So here we have q square by g. So from this equation we have already derived. When we are deriving or when we are discussing about jump analysis in rectangular channel, during this we have already derived this expression, okay? So here we are going to implement this equation, okay? Okay, so here we have q square by g, so this will be q square by g, and then just bring this 2 in the left hand side, so it will be divided, okay? And then we substitute this expression in equation 7.8 here in place of q square by g, okay? Then you have to simplify. That's it, okay? After you substituting q square by g in this equation, then you have to simplify, because all the values you're going to here getting here y1 and y2, okay? There is no other term here after substituting this q square by g. If you can see here in this 7.8 you have only y2 and y2, oh sorry, y1 terms, okay? Then you have q square by g. When you replace this q square by g by this expression, here also you can see you have only y1 and y2. So after replacing, you have to do simple simplification, okay? And if you do, it's up to you how you do the simplification, okay? Everyone has their own way, so you can carry out any simplification, and ultimately we will get an expression of this. Loss of energy is equal to y2 minus y1 whole cube divided by 4 y1 y2. Okay, this is for rectangular channel. This is for rectangular channel. So you directly write down this expression and you try to derive. Okay, after this, okay, after substituting, you try to derive. This is very simple. It depends on how you proceed. Okay, and see you are getting the same expression or not. Y2 minus y1 whole cube divided by 4y1 and y2. Okay, so if you find any difficulties, then we can discuss, okay, in the next class. No issue. Okay, but try once. Okay, I think it will come. Only you have to do the simplification. Finally, we will get this expression. Okay, y2 minus y1 whole cube divided by 4y1 y2. So this expression is gives you loss in hydraulic jump in rectangular channel. So we move on to the next topic now. Okay. So next topic is relative loss energy. In previous topic, we have discussed about loss of energy during hydraulic jump. So here, next topic is relative loss of energy. Here you nothing but that loss of energy. That loss of energy, if you divide it by specific energy before the jump, is called the relative loss of energy. Okay. So loss of energy, if you divide by specific energy before the jump, then that is called relative loss of energy. Okay. So the derivation is not required. It's not in the syllabus. Okay. Next, we can move on to efficiency of jump. Okay. Next topic you write efficiency of jump. So this efficiency is nothing but your E2 divided by E1. That is your specific energy after the jump divided by specific energy before the jump is called your efficiency of the jump. So if you are asked to find out the efficiency, you're going to find out specific energy after the jump and specific energy before the jump, and if you divide, you will get efficiency of jump. Okay, so this is the expression. You can write it down: E2 divided by E1. Over. Okay, so then again we move on to the next part. Okay, so next is height of the jump. Next is height of the jump and relative height. Okay, so first, height of the jump. Height of the jump is nothing but y2 minus y1. That is depth of flow after the jump minus depth of flow before the jump. Y2 minus y1. Okay, this gives you height of the jump. Okay, so you can write down this expression. Y2 minus y1 will give you the height of the jump. And this height of the jump, if you divide it by E1, that is specific energy before the jump, it will gives you relative height. Okay, this is relative height. So for height of the jump is y2 minus y1, and for relative height it is height of the jump divided by specific energy before the jump. Okay, so next you write types of jump. Okay, next topics is types of jump. Okay, so first you write down the angular jump. Okay, so here the Froude number is varies from 1 to 1.7. Okay, Froude number, that is FR1. Froude number before the jump is varies from 1 to 1.7. The water surface shows undulations and efficiency E2 divided by E1 is very small, and Y2 divided by Y1 is also small. Okay, so you can write the first one. Okay, so next is weak jump. Okay, next is weak jump. So here in first case your FR1 varies from 1 to 1.7, and in second case if it is varies from 1.7 to 2.5, FR1 it varies from 1.7 to 2.5, and the efficiency varies from 15 to 18%. Okay, 15 to 18%, then we can say that jump is weak jump. Okay, next is your number three, oscillating jump. Okay, so you remember in first case your FR1 varies from 1 to 1.7. In second case it varies from 1.7 to 2.5. In third case it varies from 2.5 to 4.5. Okay, that is your oscillating jump. Okay, and your efficiency is about 45%. Hydraulic efficiency, that is E2 divided by E1. Okay, so in first case your FR1 varies from 1 to 1.7, which is your angular jump. Next is weak jump. Here your FR1 varies from 1.7 to 2.5. And in third case your oscillating jump. Here your FR1 varies from 2.5 to 4.5. Okay, then next one is steady jump. Here your FR1 varies from 4.5 to 9. Okay, and your efficiency is more than 45%, 45 to 70%. Okay. So we have total five types of jump. One is angular jump, weak jump, oscillating jump, steady, and strong jump. Okay. So these jumps are one strong number and also depends on efficiency. If your FR1 varies from 1 to 1.7, then we can say this jump is angular jump. Okay. So again, if your FR1 varies from 1.7 to 2.5, then we can say it's a weak jump. If FR1 varies from 2.5 to 4.5, we can say it's an oscillating jump. If FR1 varies from 4.5 to 9, then we can say it's a steady jump. And the last one, if your FR1 greater than 9, then we can say it's a strong jump. Okay. And apart from this, it is also related to efficiency. For your first case, angular, your efficiency is very less. Efficiency is nothing but your E2 divided by E1. Okay, and efficiency is very less in first case. In second case, it's from 18 to 20%. Sorry, it's 15 to 18%. Okay, then in third case for oscillating, it's around 45% efficiency. Okay, and for steady, it's 45 to 70%. For strong jump, it's more than 70. That is 70% to 85%. Okay, these are the efficiency. So these types of jumps, it depends on your FR1 value and efficiency. This meeting here. Okay, so yeah, in this figure 7.4, you can see this first one is your unruler jump. See unruler jump, where your fraud number is varies from 1 to 1.7. In second case, it's a weak jump. You can see the diagram, okay? It's a weak jump where your FR1, fraud number 1, is varies from 1.7 to 2.5. Then we have oscillating jump where your fraud number varies from 2.5 to 4.5. Then we have a steady jump where your FR1 varies from 4.5 to 9. And then finally we will be having a strong jump when your fraud number is greater than 9. So it's based on FR1. Okay. Here also in efficiency you will see, so the depth is not vary. Okay. Efficiency is nothing but our E2 divided by E1. Okay. Specific energy divided by specific energy first condition. Okay. So here is very less. Here we have 15 to 18%. Here it's about 45% in oscillating jump. In steady jump, it's about 45 to 70%, and here 70 to 80%, 80% or 85%. Okay, for strong jump. These are the efficiency. So based on fraud number, FR1 and efficiency, we have classified types of jump. Okay. So next we have some types of jump which is related to the location, based on location. Okay. See here it's a based on location. Okay. One is free jump, one is repel jump, one is submerged jump. So it depends on the conditions. Here if you free jump, if you see the jump occurs freely and the tailwater depth y2 and upstream depth y1 satisfy the hydraulic jump equation. Okay, that is we have already discussed this equation 7.5. Okay, this is normal condition. Okay, when flow conditions are such that jump to occur at the location which is quite a bit farther downstream than expected at the location of the sluice. I think if you see the diagram, it will be more clear. Okay, this is our free jump. Okay, this is our the first condition. If you see, this is our free jump. Okay, so here we have a sluice gate. You see, it comes straight, and then there will be some jump. Okay, here in repel jump, you see this should be the y2 value, but because of this repel, this happened below this actual one. Okay, so had this is a condition where y2 less than y2 dash less than y2. Okay, so for submerged, if your y2 dash greater than y2, y2 dash is greater than y2, then we can say this condition is submerged. And the last one we have, it's a forced jump when we have some obstruction in the bed of the channel, then this condition occur. Okay, so here it's y2 and y2 dash are same. Okay, here if it is less than y2 dash is less than y2, then we can say it's a repel jump. If y2 dash is greater than y2, then you can say submerged. Here also this condition is same. Okay, only the difference is you have an obstruction at the bed of the channel. This is called force jump with baffle work. So these are the types of jump. Okay, so next topic is your length of the jump. Okay, length of the jump, you can write down this expression, this two expression. Okay. Sometimes some people use 6.98j. Hj is the height of the jump, that is your y2 minus y1, and some people use 6.18j. Okay. Okay. So here you can write one condition. This when we use 6.1, when your fr1 is greater than 5, fr1 is greater than 5. Okay. If it is less than 5, we use this one, 6.98j. We have length of the jump, we have two conditions. One is 6.98j, that is height of the jump, and one is 6.18j. So 6.1 we use when your fr1 is greater than 5, or we use this 6.98j.